They are a tiny minority within a minority in Britain, yet the debate over Muslim women who wear the veil is being lifted once again. A government minister arguing it's time to debate when and where they should be allowed.
I think we have to be careful about being fearful of discussing these issues. I think there is a perfectly legitimate discussions with liberal-minded people can have and maybe even come to differing conclusions.
It's interesting how this debate has come about again. From a very minor case which took place inside a court, it's become a national debate again. It's not surprising that this level of media attention has been given to it. A lot of politicians get mileage, as your introductory remarks mentioned, Jeremy Brown, and the fact that he's not here to kind of defend himself, and the fact that there's no kind of clear proof or evidence to the remarks that he made on this particular issue. So it's a very politicized discussion which has definitely a political benefit for certain politicians.
A recent poll suggested that 67% of Britons support a ban on Muslim women covering their faces.
2 weeks ago, students at a college in Birmingham accused their teachers of religious discrimination when the college tried to impose a ban on full-face veils. 9,000 students signed a protest petition, and the ban was subsequently dropped. But the war of opinions isn't dying down.
In the last few years, we've seen a strong tide of anti-Islamic campaigning, predominantly from the far right. But to be honest, nowadays in the last decade, as we've seen since the war on terror began, it's anybody and everybody has a nice pot shot at Islam, and from that they can gain political capital for their own political ends, for their own parties, for their own statuses, and that's it really. What happens is it polarizes communities. So is a niqab a ban to social cohesion? It isn't. Otherwise, why would you find women at universities and colleges in the first place? Surely that is social cohesion if they are interacting with society and gaining an education, gaining a skill set, and then going back and.
But it's not, because they have a barrier, don't they?
No, if they wanted to create a barrier, they wouldn't be outside in the first place.
But isn't there I'm asking a question really. You've got a barrier, which is the veil. And so people would be more reluctant to have a conversation with somebody who's got a veil, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, the barrier may be a piece of clothing, it's not a barrier on the intellect. So this is quite important. If it was the case of women who wear niqab are secluded from society, then let's say there's a genuine discussion there. But if a woman is adorning the veil, she's accessing education, she's getting into certain jobs, I can't see how that's not being socially inclusive of British society.
It's an issue rekindled by a veil ban imposed by a Birmingham college 8 years ago that was reversed last week following student protests.
This is about preserving my freedom of choice. As a woman, you know, just as a woman can wear as little as she wants, I choose to wear a lot more and cover, you know, so I think it's important people can respect that.
Then a London judge ruled a defendant must remove her veil to testify in court, but asked Parliament to clarify the issue, followed by revelations 17 hospitals had prohibited frontline staff from wearing the veil, prompting a review.
As a patient, I would always want to be able to see the face of the doctor or the nurse who was treating me. But I think it's a matter for professional regulators rather than politicians.
Majid, I mean, Dr. Sarah Wollaston, who's the MP for Totnes, again, she was somebody we invited onto the show. She wasn't available to come on, and she referred us back to her comments in the Telegraph. She says veils are deeply offensive and are making women invincible. What do you say to her when she suggested that the niqab should be banned in schools and colleges?
Yeah, I think it's got to a particular...
She's a woman.
Yeah.
She's somebody who's fairly independent MP. She doesn't toe the party line. You couldn't class her as a right-wing nutter, if you like, on the Tory benches, as some of the others are. She's fairly, you know, mainstream politician, and she's saying that she finds the veils, you know, uncomfortable, and she finds them offensive.
Which goes back to my opening comments that the climate is as such that once upon a time these type of comments were attributed towards far-right parties, individuals, views that people found distasteful, think how could you even say such a thing about somebody else. But nowadays, in the climate of the war on terror, which in essence, what we say is a war on Islam in terms of the Islamic ideas, it's not just a military war, it's not a war where you occupy countries, it's a war of ideas, it's a war of civilizations, it's a war of challenging other people's cultures, faiths, specifically here the Islamic faith.
Who would have expected a dress code to become such a heated topic of political debate? And yet, the issue of the Muslim veil and variations thereof has gripped not one, not two, but several European states.
I don't think it helps their integration by using a full face veil. You know, as long as the face can be seen to some extent, you know, expressions count for a lot.
They shouldn't be judged because you can't see their face. It's just their religion, and that's what they want. That's what they want to wear. So you should let them wear it.
I don't think they should ban it at all, because it's up to the people how they. It's just like any other type of clothing.
Yeah, I think there should be a law. Like, for example, airports or even just shops, places where they interact with people, especially people who don't know them, because it's very difficult to speak to a blank sort of surface. You want to speak to someone, you don't want to speak to just eyes.
So now we're seeing that in this country, the UK, a sizable Muslim population, it's perfect opportunity for politicians to use the Muslim community for their own political goals. Should it be banned? Is it barrier to communication? I think most people would find that kind of quite ludicrous, to tell the truth. So, I mean, how many times you go to the hospital and the doctor does come to see you and he's wearing glasses and he's wearing a mask on his face? Is that barrier to communication? No, it isn't. The lady who just spoke to you just now, the sister who said that she was wearing the niqab on the phone.
Yeah.
Was that a barrier to communication? Has she got a silent voice? Is she marginalised in society? I think quite the contrary. So all those arguments which people they give, that, you know, it's making women invisible.
Okay, but do you think it's possibly to do with the fact, and just ponder this question while we take a call, is that these women don't come on TV, they don't come and tell their story. I mean, you know, it's then the people like you and me who come on and have to give an explanation, and if they were to come on and give their story and their explanation and why they choose it and why they want their right to be respected.
France brought in a ban on wearing the niqab in public in 2011, following a long-standing prohibition on all religious symbols in public institutions. Quebec's plans to impose a similar ban on religious symbols has not gone unnoticed here, but it is a divisive issue that some believe Britain should avoid.
We're way past that time that do's and don'ts. It's a free country.
Imagine to you, it's a barrier. How do you communicate with somebody who's got a veil on? I'm just trying to understand. I'm a bit, if I'm honest, I'm a bit more reluctant to make eye contact and engage with that person. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're definitely wrong.
I'm posing the question.
Yeah, I'd say that's the person who's wrong in saying that. You can communicate via speaking, you can communicate via gestures of the body. There's not a problem there. So it depends on what is the need for yourself to communicate with a woman. Islam is quite clear on this, in the sense that when you have any interaction with women, there needs to be a specific reason for this. So as a Muslim man, I need to have a specific reason from the Sharia which allows me to engage with women. It could be work related, it could be to do with seeking marriage, it could be to do with trade, it could be to do with communication in the profession. For example, health, medical, colleague, whatever it's going to be. So from that point of view, Islam gives me a code of conduct to communicate with a woman, which, to tell you the truth, in the Western world is absent. So when we are discussing this issue now, we're really discussing it from a very westernized point of view, where the social rules are dictated by Western standards and Western norms. Our norms, our standards are based upon Islam and are based upon the Sharia.
France, home to the largest Muslim community in Western Europe with some 5 million followers, became the first country to ban the full face veil in public places in 2011. A new woman breaking the rule faces a penalty of around €150 and a lesson in citizenship. Those forcing a woman to cover her face are looking at a much stiffer fine of up to €30,000. Neighboring Belgium followed suit just months afterwards with a similar ban on the Muslim veil that covers the full face. Though the fine here is slightly lower, the maximum punishment could result in a 7-day jail term. A similar ban on face covering in public is to become effective this year in the Netherlands, home to roughly 1 million Muslims. Although scholars say out of that number only a few hundred women wear niqabs or burqas, which either leave the eyes open or cover the entire face. Between 3 and 3.5 million Muslims live in Germany, the second largest Islamic population in Europe after France. There is no universal ban here, but the state of Hesse banned its civil servants from wearing headscarves and veils following an 8-year-old ruling from the Federal Constitutional Court, which left the issue up to individual states to decide. Both in Spain and Italy, moves have been made in the past to outlaw niqabs and burqas, as well as headscarves for Muslims. But in those both predominantly Catholic countries, Supreme Courts or legal ministers have thrown such propositions out, citing them as unconstitutional. And in the Swiss canton of Ticino, 2/3 of the population voted in favor of a ban on face-covering veils, and the ban is currently awaiting approval by the federal parliament. These developments across the European continent are raising the question: is there a broader clash within liberal values themselves when the right to religious identity is pinned against the need for all to respect the law?